All right, today we're going to be jumping back into the Bitcoin price action and talking about why I think crypto is fully bottomed right now. We are geared up for wave 2 of the bull market, and if you're not all in right now, I don't know what to tell you. That is not financial advice, by the way. But yeah, jumping in here, we can see this level that we were talking about in my last video did in fact get swept. We went ahead, came up, reclaimed the sweep level, but as Bitcoin likes to do a lot of the times, it went ahead and swept the sweep, which I kind of expected to happen because we didn't have any edge on the RSI for this first low. And that's why, if you don't have that hourly bull div, usually you don't want to enter your positions quite yet. Give it some time, let it roll over. And as you can see, we did in fact create that 1 hour bullish divergence, right? Higher lows on RSI, lower lows on price. And that would have been your sign that this was the true bottom when we got that second liquidity sweep. So yeah, that's the low in my opinion, right? I don't think Bitcoin's going to go any lower than that. And I think the corrective phase is like fully over, right? All this sideways chop is coming to an end. Bitcoin is gearing up to go completely vertical here, aiming to take out the liquidity behind these highs and then finally that 74K level. And I do think it'll happen pretty quickly, right? We could come up, test the daily EMA one more time, and then finally, send up there, or we could maybe chop in here, come up, then go test the daily EMA. I mean, we might have a little bit more sideways action, just escaping this range. So, it's not like I'm saying it's just going to go completely, straight up from here, although it definitely could. But after we do get these liquidity sweeps, that's when we do want to be staying cautious, right? If structurally it does look more sound for a like high to come in, if we do get some like Wyckoff distribution type pattern where we get a good high here on the charts, I would not be opposed to calling, a sweep of 74K the final top for Bitcoin. So even though I do think, 6 figures is where we're headed, just keep that in mind, right? If we do see an altcoin season and distribution here in Bitcoin, we could see some sort of, Wyckoff before dumping, and this could end up being the highs here, just like in 2020 where we had that like Wyckoff distribution. So I'm not saying we have to go into a blow off top, but that is my base case, right? Six figure blow off top for Bitcoin. But we'll be watching the charts here. I'll keep you updated, so make sure to subscribe so you get those timely updates on the price action here. But yeah, we can take out these sweep levels for now. Just zooming out here to this trend, you can see this is a pretty decent back test, right? Like a tiny deviation below to trap some shorts, and then bouncing off real nicely there. So yeah, that should be the low. We should be headed up here. If we do go ahead and jump over to like the dollar, we were talking about this guy rolling over. You can see perfect touch into the golden pocket before finally nuking to the downside. Jumping out here to like a daily. Where do I expect the dollar to go? Well, if we were to just like look at our ranges here, right, we kind of have, I don't know, I'd call that the range low. And then I would call, something like this, the range high. So we'll see if this is going to be, back test of that range high again before heading off and away, or if we are going to get back under and hunt back down to that like 100 level here on the DXY. I do expect the latter, and that's where you get like the more blow off top for Bitcoin. But let's be watching this. Let's see if this, does end up becoming support, because that could signal like, hey, Bitcoin might actually be topping at like 74K instead of going to 100K. So yeah, we're watching the DXY here. So far, so good though. We are definitely coming down. Over here on the S&P, you remember how I was talking about how this pattern was just not being respected at all, and I did not expect this back test to be bearish, and I expected the hourly EMA to hold, and that is exactly what happened. Went ahead, bounced off this hourly EMA, sent straight up through this trend, back testing it as support, and now I think finally we are going to hunt these all-time highs on the S&P. So that's pretty exciting. We should get a lot of euphoria on that break of all-time highs. Again, just be watching for, some sort of deviation back under. Make sure that we are clearing this legitimately and not just, grabbing liquidity and then pulling back over to make some sort of double top. But if we do come over here to a daily time frame, I've been talking about these like lines of attack, right? How we had first draw was a pretty average uptrend. Second draw was a steeper uptrend, and this third draw is continuing to be even steeper at like 70 degrees versus this 55 degrees. And 3 draws of a steeper uptrend is basically the definition of a parabola, and that is what I expect here on the S&P, which will correlate with that Bitcoin blow off top, which is my base case. So let's see this continue to play out. Let's jump over here to Total 3, right, the altcoin market. You can see we're still just kind of trading sideways, but we are gearing up to break out of this daily EMA. And when that happens, I expect it to be pretty violent, right? We've been holding this value area low of the last bull market, suggesting the target is going to be up here at that value area high. So even if Bitcoin does like top on a deviation to 74K, right, we're already in that like Wyckoff distribution. I still fully expect the altcoin season to be upon us, and this would be a minimum target even if Bitcoin's topped right now. But my base case is actually getting support here and going for below off top, breaking all-time highs. So let's see if we can have that play out on the altcoin market. Yeah, so I think the altcoin market could definitely provide some insane gains, some generational wealth for those early investors into good projects. Now what we're going to do, we're going to jump over to Trading Light. This is like some more advanced software where we can actually see the order flow of this low, and we're going to jump into why I think this is a good low, and we're probably not going any lower. And that's because this was a clear failed auction, right? 91 Bitcoin being sold off, only 11 being bought up at the pixel bottom, and price was not able to accept the lower, which tells you that this was just a liquidity event and the sellers are exhausted. So that should have been the low there. We do have some like walls looking over here on Binance, right? There are some buyers trying to scoop up lower, 1,000 Bitcoin, 800 Bitcoin, bunch of 500 Bitcoin walls at around like $59,000 to $60,000. These could also be kind of spoof walls because you can see here, this is where these walls actually got filled on that first low of the double bottom that we had in the charts. So they actually filled their orders, or at least one of these walls did, right? This 1,000 Bitcoin wall filled their orders at around 60,900. And when they did that, they went ahead and moved orders lower. So, it's either they like instantly took it out of the market here and they didn't actually get filled and they moved them lower, or they did in fact get filled and they placed these spoof walls to keep algos and bots from bringing down price to those levels, right? This is just showing that there is demand in the order books and those bots are more likely to push price up. So these could easily just be like spoof walls helping out, big whales, longers that are entering at these lows here. So that's very likely what that is, right? I don't expect these to really get filled because that low structurally, just like an order flow basis, looks solid. We can see when this low came in here, we had a longs opening on Bybit, so that's as good. We have longs helping out with this uptrend. You do see here very locally, like this is a lot of shorts closing out of their positions, so not the best thing in the world. Like you would have wanted to see just longs being opened throughout here on Bybit, but we'll see what happens. Really what I'm going to be watching for is if I just move these up because these are just sweep levels. Those aren't really valid anymore. This would be like the first level to get swept. You can see all these like poor highs coming up to the sweep level. So if we were to deviate this and get back under, maybe we do go fill these orders down here, but I doubt it. Just with what the S&P is doing, what the DXY is doing, I highly doubt that's going to happen. Structurally, that was the low. These highs will probably get broken and it will not turn out to be a swing fail structure, right? We'll probably clear through, backtest point of control, or if we do, reject, swing fail, this will probably just pull back to like a golden pocket in here. So, something like this before continuing on up. So yeah, that's just what I'm seeing here very locally on the charts. If you are like trading this thing, that's what I'm looking at, just like on an order flow basis, that sort of thing. Get Trading Light if you are trading, by the way. I mean, this software is just amazing. It's not super expensive, and it shows you not only like the footprint chart where you can see like the buyers and sellers within candles, CVD and open interest, that sort of thing, the bar statistics down here, but you can see like the actual walls in the order books on Binance and that sort of thing. So yeah, this is like the all-encompassing trading software that I do recommend for any traders out there. I got a link in my description, and basically if you use that link, we both get 10% off a monthly subscription on this thing. So I don't get any real money from that, and I'm not actually affiliated with them. I just looked up an affiliate link that anybody can use. But yeah, that's where I'm going to end the video there. I also have a link to my Discord down below, so make sure to go hop in that. That's completely free. So if you do have any questions about anything I talked about today, make sure to go hop in that Discord. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.